Howdy, folks. My name is Alex, otherwise known as For the Z, and welcome to episode 38 of the Turner's Digest. As always, we'll start off with our disclaimer. I'm not a financial or tax advisor. This is not financial or tax advice. This is for entertainment purposes only, but please enjoy. I'm back from my 2-week trip to Europe. I went to London, Prague, and Amsterdam. I'll have a travel episode, I guess Europe Trip 2.0, coming out sometime soon, but over the past 2 weeks, I've still been keeping track of some stuff happening in the industry, so there's a lot of updates to share today. And I put a poll on Patreon to see if people would rather have the travel episode first or a regular episode first, or if they want them both together. Most people seem to prefer the normal update first, just because those have timely updates and they're more short-lived. Things aren't going to be relevant in 2 weeks from now as compared to right now, especially some of these updates happened like 2 weeks ago. So the quicker I get this out, the more relevant it'll be, the more people it'll help. But I'll definitely still get the travel episode up at some point. I don't want it to replace normal episodes because things still happen and I still want to update on them, but it'll kind of just be like a bonus episode, I guess. But without further ado, let's dive in here. And we have a lot to cover today, so we'll see how long this episode gets. Might be our longest one yet. So first off, as always, got to shout out the Cleed tier, Kung Fuer and Cleed. Thanks for being members of the Cleed tier. Also, new members of the Patreon include Roberto, Will, Steven, David, Vincent, and Gerson. If I'm saying that wrong, I'm sorry, but welcome. I did make some changes to the Patreon. Nothing changed to the tiers or any benefits, but I did give names to the tiers. The first dollar tier is the fee waiver tier. The second, I added a new tier for a $2 tier. Specifically, if you have like a Discover card, they will forgive, I think Discover and Wells Fargo will forgive up to $2 of a small balance on your credit cards. So if you're trying to knock that out, I gave you the option of the $2 one. If you want to give me a little more money from the banks, I'll happily take it. Or you just want to up your contributions from $1 to $2, I'd be happy to take that as well. There will be some stuff that we talk about in this episode that are some lightning deals or some updates that came out on the Patreon only before this episode. While I was abroad, if I saw some things that were super pressing or the normal like top cash back incentive stuff, I did still send that out even though I was gone. But not too much was shared. And then I also got 2 Monzo referrals, one from Couch and one from David. I think they might be the same person, but hey, you get shout out twice. I think it's a $25 referral. Monzo's is pretty decent for some plays I got going on. And also, the Zorito offered me a Adidas coupon. Unfortunately, didn't work, but I still wanted to say thanks for reaching out. Almost snagged a nice pair of shoes, but unfortunately, the coupon did not work as expected. So we will dive into our updates. So some of these are a bit of a spillover from the travel episode. I have the script written out. I just haven't recorded it yet. But one thing that I did heavily use while I was abroad was since I now have American Express Platinum, American Express offers something called Amex Send in Venmo. I always say Amex. I think it's Amex, though, but I say Amex. Amex Send in Venmo. So you can send people cash for like Venmo transactions and fund it via your credit line with American Express. You specifically have to go into American Express and allot part of your balance to be for this. So I think I set like $500 as my max, and I've just been sending it via there. A quirk of it is you do have to have no Venmo balance before you use that line of credit. So I'm kind of using it as just an extra float, especially with interest rates so high right now, like an extra 30 days on some cash at 5%. Why not send it from my credit balance? I got the cash anyway, so why not? Well, I will say because of this, my American Express bill currently is at like $8,000, $9,000. At least partially from this, I've probably sent like $1,000 or close to $1,000 in Venmos just from the trip. So make sure you do have the funds to cover your expenses if you do something like this. But you don't get any fees, or you don't get any rewards for it. It doesn't meet towards sign-up bonus, but it's simply just to push off the 30 days of the charge being due. And as far as I know, there aren't any fees for it. I haven't been charged for it just yet, as in my bill hasn't come due for the transactions I've been putting on it. It is a bit odd where, like, if I go into my American Express Send area in, like, the app, it'll show I can move the balance over to my credit line. And I think that means, like, unallocate that part of my credit line that was allocated for American Express Send to go back to my credit line. But I don't see why I'd want to do that. But for now, it's working pretty well. I'd prefer to pay off of a credit line get some interest on the cash and then just pay it off whenever the bill comes due. Next, Cardless had actually some decent updates while I was gone. So they announced a partnership with Qatar. They're for an airline credit card. I believe it's for airlines. Cardless and Qatar to launch 2 new credit cards. You can join the waitlist and earn an extra 5,000 to 10,000 points. Looks like there's a Visa Signature and Visa Infinite version of the cards. Qatar uses Avios, which is the same rewards program as British Airways, Iberia, and Aer Lingus. They currently offer cards with Chase. There aren't too many details about the card. Looking here now, I think there is some more details now. So the Signature card comes with up to 40,000 Avios points, and the Infinite comes with up to 50,000. The Signature has a $99 annual fee. The Infinite has a $500 annual fee. And your rewards for the Signature are 4x on Qatar Airways purchases, 2x on Avios, 2x Avios on dining. I guess Avios are your points, and 1x on everywhere else. You also get 2 Q points for every $2,000 you earn, 2,000 points you earn on the card. Don't really know what that means. And then the $500 annual fee comes with 5x on Qatar purchases, 3x on dining, 1x on everything else. You also get, for the Signature, you get Privilege Club Silver status. So you get 25% tier boost on eligible flights, priority standby, priority check-in and boarding, 20% on seat selection, 15 kilogram extra baggage allowance, and lounge access. And then for Gold, you get 75% boost, priority standby, priority check-in and boarding, preferred seats, 20 kilogram extra baggage allowance, lounge access, 40 Q credits to redeem for upgrades, excess baggage, and much more. Al Maha Meet and Assistance Service. Don't know what that is. Discount for online redemptions. It also comes with, the Infinite comes with extended warranty. Anything comes with a Signature card. Do these come with Priority Pass? I don't think they do. Doesn't look like they come with Priority Pass. That's kind of crazy that they're coming in $500 annual fee. And also, I've noticed a lot of Cardless cards are being issued by American Express. This one's issued by Visa. I don't know if they have another card that's issued by Visa. Looking at the cards currently offered, they have the 2 from Qatar, which are Visas, TAP Air Portugal, which is American Express, LATAM Airlines? Yeah, LATAM Airlines, which is a MasterCard, another LATAM Airlines, which is also a MasterCard. Looks like they're sticking with this lower one and then a higher one with like the standard Visa, for example, and then a Visa Signature. Visa Infinite, excuse me. And then the Simon card, which is American Express. Not super interesting, but just I like sharing updates that happen in the industry. Next, I have a data point from my Visions Credit Union checking bonus. They actually sent me an email about this saying that I got it, which was nice. But it was a $200 bonus. Link in the show notes. On January 15th, I opened the account with a New Jersey residency. On the 16th, I got the instant $50 bonus, which I think, it said OLB, which I think is for online banking, so I got the $50 credit for that. Then I got another $50 credit on the 19th for, it said, deposit cap DC bonus checking account promotion. And I think DC means debit card because there was a $50 for activating the debit, $50 for online banking, and then an extra $100 for direct depositing. And for those, I made a 501 real direct deposit on January 26th. And then just in case, I did a 501 real direct deposit on March 22nd, which was a while. I don't think it was needed. It just said one was required. But the terms did say like repeat direct deposits. But it specifically just said you need at least one, totaling $500 or more. And then on April 11th, I received a $100 credit that said deposit cap DD bonus checking account promotion, which I, again, assume direct deposit is what DD is for. That is now closed. Actually, I think it is still open if you're interested, but the footprint is pretty small, so keep that in mind. It's only for New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, but it was a pretty quick bonus, and they seem nice. Apparently, they have $2,500 credit card funding, not including American Express. Let me see if I did use credit card funding. I did. I funded $2,500 via Bank of America, did not count as cash advance, and did get rewards on it, which was nice. Next, so we received some emails from NetSpend, those of us that have NetSpend accounts. NetSpend offers a 5% checking savings account only up to $1,000, but also offers a 5% savings account with HEB debit, and that's up to $2K. But they recently emailed account holders the NetSpend specific account and said that they are changing inactivity fees from 90 days of inactivity to 60 days. And previously 90 days was perfect because interest posts in 90 days. So it posts quarterly. So every 90 days I'd go in and make transactions. But now that it's 60 days, I'm not going to go in every month or every other month and make activity, especially for just $1,000, 5%. I can get that easily elsewhere. And the fee is $6 per month. So to avoid that, I secure messaged them and said, can you close the account? They got back to me and said, hey, you have to just do it all online. So if you go to like help, you hit close account, you just say, I want to close my account. Yes. And then they manage it behind the scenes. I did get an email saying that there's like an issue with my account to please call. So I called in and they were like, oh, it's just to tell you that your account was closed, which was an odd email. I did ask the agent if HEB debit will be following suit with the same terms updates, and the agent said yes, but it won't take effect until you receive the email. I don't really trust agents, to be honest, so I'm not going to take it with a grain of salt, but I expect that to come soon, considering NetSpend is the one that issues the HEB debit accounts, so I assume to be the same. I'm going to keep that one open until I get the email, though. Next is something interesting that happened to me. I got a letter in the mail from FNBO while I was gone. They issue my Ducks Unlimited card. And the letter stated that my APR is going up from 24.24% to 27.9%. I mean, I don't use the card as a loan, so it doesn't affect me, but that is a decent hike. 24% isn't low by any means, but 27.9% is probably the highest I have seen on most credit cards, at least on, I think, all of my credit cards. I think my cardless one might be the highest, actually. I'm curious. Let me take a look. Wow, yeah. My cardless interest rate is 28.24%. That's absolutely obscene. Next was a expired lightning deal. Top Cashback did their incentive of spend $15, get $2.50 back in cash back. I just did my Google Store purchase, Google Play Store gift card purchase for $15 just to get the easy $2.50 back. Next, there were some updates from SoFi. So there is, let me see if I can find the proper page. Not this one. So SoFi is doing a increased bonus for transferring over investments. It ranges from $100 to $10,000. It's a decent deal according to Doctor of Credit. A lot of tiers of higher than the previous SoFi bonus, though the offer now requires 2-year lockup. There's also the Robinhood bonus for a 1% match on your tax-bearing investments brought into the account, unlimited as well. So there seems to be some decent offers for some investment account bonuses. There's also with SoFi, I've called this out a couple times in a couple past episodes, but the sign-up bonus for their checking account increased from $500 to $550. This is specifically with a portal, and I think it's Rakuten is the one that's doing a decent one. So I think it's like 200 from, or like 300 from SoFi and 250 from Rakuten, or 350 from Rakuten, 200 from SoFi, something like that. But both do stack, and you can get both. And if you don't have a SoFi checking account, that's a fantastic offer. I will note that you can, I think I've called this out before as well, but you can hold 2 different SoFi accounts under 2 different email addresses, which is what I have. For some reason, they wouldn't let me open up a checking account or an investment account or a credit card under my original SoFi account. So I made a new one, but I don't know why they let me do it. I've used all these same account information, just have to email, and they won't let me combine the 2 accounts. So I have one account that has my credit card and one account that has my savings and checking accounts. I mean, both are pretty much just sitting dormant, but it's a bit annoying. There was also an update to SoFi's fee schedule, specifically I think it's for the checking accounts, where the inactivity fee is now a $25 fee will be applied to your account after 6 months of inactivity. I probably might get dinged by that, but we'll see. Normally banks are pretty good if you do get an inactivity fee. You can just message them and say, hey, I made a mistake. Can you refund this? And then hopefully they refund it and I'll just close the account. But for now, I'm not really worried about it. Next, Dr. Credit reported that Amazon store card is now accepted at Whole Foods via their app. You specifically have to use like the QR code, but you can like pay at Whole Foods with your Amazon store card, which is nice. I have the card. It was like one of my oldest cards, I think. Let's see if I can find when I open that card up. I also hold the Chase card. I don't see a reason why to hold the Synchrony one. Yeah, I opened the card on, what is that, July of 2016. So this account's going on 8 years now. I don't use it too much. I have a family account on Amazon, and I have my younger brother on it as well as my mom, just to get Amazon Prime free shared between all of us. And my younger brother's account is a teen account, even though he's not a teen anymore. But he still gets like Amazon Prime benefits for free because you only get you get one additional like house member to get Prime benefits for free, but I think teens get them for free. But because of that, he has to get his purchase approved on Amazon, and he somehow always accidentally uses my credit card, and it's always this Amazon store card, so I just Venmo him for the transactions, but I guess the card gets at least some use on it. Next, there's actually a bunch of updates from Juno. So I'm surprised that I didn't talk about this previously or earlier, but previously I was using Juno to deposit USDC to, like a transfer in from elsewhere, and I did that because they had no fees associated with it, but they recently changed it so that when you go to sell your USDC, it's no longer pegged at $1. And they offload, I think like when you sell $1,000, they offload like $5 worth of a fee that they're having. They call it a network fee. And they discuss this in their Discord. So you're no longer getting like a dollar value for USDC on Juno. So I've stopped using Juno. In addition to that, well, as a replacement, Coinbase is still 1-to-1. So you can withdraw, and it's also free to transfer in and to sell and to transfer out within Coinbase. So if you're looking for quick USDT transactions, Coinbase is pretty decent. Next, with Juno, they also made some changes to their points. So they were called Jcoin, and they're actually called Jpoints now, but you can now get 5x on all card spend. Previously, I think it was 3x, or there was a boost to boost it to 3x. You can use Juno points to boost your points you earn on debit card purchases, but now it's just 5% across the board. They also upped the cashback limit to $500, and there used to be a boost to up your limit, but now there is no boost, and you're capped at $500, and it's up from $300. They also took away Juno points for making direct deposits. Previously, I think you were earning 2 or 3x of your direct deposit as Juno points, so it's kind of just a free way to get points, and the points are used for gift cards, and I think some of them are like, I don't think they're 1-to-1 as in like one separate point. I think they're all worse than that now, but I mean, it's free money on a direct deposit, which most places aren't doing anymore, except I think Laurel Road is still doing that. And then finally, you're not getting, you don't have the option for the 3x Juno points boost, which again, as I said, not really worth it anymore because it's obsolete since you're now getting 5x for everything. And then finally, this email came out, I think today or yesterday, and I actually noticed this, and this was impacting me, but there's some temporary disruption of services. They said, we're reaching out to inform you of a temporary disruption to our banking services. Currently, account transfers, wire transfers, and card transactions are experiencing interruptions. These banking services are provided by Evolve Trust and Bank, and we were notified by the team about this disruption. We understand the inconvenience this may have caused, and are working to resolve these issues with our banking service provider as quickly as possible. Crypto functions are functioning normally, and you can still off-ramp and on-ramp to crypto. Our team is collaborating with our banking service provider, Evolve Bank and Trust, and brokerage partner, Synapse Bank, LLC, to address and resolve these disruptions, and we are committed to resolving full service as swiftly as possible. So they're putting all blame on Evolve Bank and Trust and Synapse Brokerage, LLC, which makes sense because Juno's not a bank. They're a technology company, technically, and they don't really touch your money. It's all Evolve Bank and Trust and Synapse Brokerage that takes care of your money and any brokerage-related things you have. As I'm reading this, I didn't correlate this earlier in my show notes, but now I'm making the connection. This isn't the only bank that's having issues with their competitor, and actually what made me think of it is the name rang a bell. So what I just read to you, Juno specifically says, our team is collaborating with our banking partner service provider, Evolve Bank and Trust, and brokerage partner, Synapse Bank Brokerage, LLC. And later in my show notes, I have a update from Yoda, where Yoda has negative changes as well. And they specifically state, we are writing to let you know that effective immediately, Yoda unfortunately has to discontinue paying rewards on savings balances, paychecks, and card spends. The rest of the Yoda app, including your Yoda Cash, as well as all of our games and prizes, will continue to run as normal. Why is Yoda making these changes? This was not an easy decision to make. However, our primary vendor, Synapse Brokerage LLC, is no longer paying us the revenues we are owed on our deposits and cards. Unfortunately, this means that we have no choice and can no longer offer rewards for these banking-related services. What does this mean? Effective immediately, we will no longer award Yoda Cash APY on deposits, balances, and no longer offer boxes. Do I need to do anything? We understand this is not the experience you're signed up for. If you would like to withdraw your funds now, you can do so via the app. So not only is Juno reporting that Synapse Brokerage LLC is having issues, but Yoda is also blaming them for, specifically, they're stating that they're not paying us the revenues we are owed on our deposits and cards, and that's frightening. And I want to see if I can look this up and see if Synapse is somehow related to Evolve Bank and Trust. Let me see if I can do some digging. So look through their investor relations portfolio, as well as their news site, their about page, and some other pages in their site. And I don't see any reference between the two, so I don't think that they're directly related. I think it just so happens that Juno has chosen the two issuers that are having issues, I guess. But it's a bit concerning. It sounds like they maybe have liquidity issues. I mean, if Evolve Bank and Trust and Synapse Brokerage are having issues with account transfers, wire transfers, and card transactions, that's an issue, as well as Synapse Brokerage just no longer paying revenues that they're owed, or no longer paying Yoda revenues that are owed to them for deposits and cards. That's very concerning. So if I had my money in Juno and Yoda, I have some money in Juno, I'd try and get that out as quick as possible. I should take my own advice on that and actually transfer out money on Juno, but we'll see if I actually do it. But that is a bit scary. Next, Dr. Credit reported that you can get a free plant yesterday and today from Lowe's. I don't know what plant it is specifically. Reserve a free selection of 1 pint annual plant at your local Lowe's store. Available while supplies last. Not available in Hawaii. Wouldn't be surprised if that's gone already, but hey, if you can, go get it. Next, we have some updates on Built. So Built announced a partnership with Blade, and just reading right off their website, Built Platinum members get a complimentary Blade helicopter flight between their Manhattan lounges and JFK or Newark Airport lounges every year. And later this summer, Built members looking to live their European dream will even be able to use their Blade credit for flights between Monaco and Nice. I believe you get 1 flight per year. You get a complimentary flight per year, specifically, as I mentioned, I'll say it again, between the Manhattan Lounge, which I think is like a Blade Lounge, and JFK Airport or Newark Airport, which is kind of sick. I fly into Newark pretty frequently. I mean, I don't have this access, nor would I have to fly to Manhattan because I live in New Jersey. But, I mean, if I was flying, I have no use for this. But it's kind of sick, especially if you have Built and, like, you would use it. It's kind of cool. I wouldn't really call it like a value add, but it's nice. It's like concierge on a card or trip cancellation insurance or something. And then next, Built adds Hilton as a transfer partner for as 1-to-1. I don't know too much about Hilton, but Dr. Credit said that it's not really good conversion rate, so I'll just quote that. Next, Barclay announced a Xbox credit card, which obviously you should not open. The sign-up bonus is 50,000 points for spending anything in the first 180 days, 3 months of Game Pass Unlimited after making your first purchase. So that's the sign-up bonus. I think Game Pass is worth like $15 a month, so that's like $45 plus $50 in points, so about $100. No annual fee. You can also get 2 3-month Game Pass codes when you spend $7,000 in your first 12 months of opening accounts. That can be another value. You get 5x on Microsoft Store, 3x on Netflix, Disney, and Spotify. Well, streaming services in general, 3x on dining. Delivery services specifically, like DoorDash and Grubhub, and 1x everything else. So pretty nothing burger. Next, I don't think this is live anymore. Actually, it might be. There's a Stack Social deal for open a Costco membership and get a $40 Costco shop card. It'll essentially make your Costco membership worth $20. Definitely worth it. I love me some Costco. Next, I have a data point for Middlesex Federal Credit Union sign-up bonus. Or I don't have a data point, but someone put in the comments of the post on Doctor of Credit that you can stack both the referral and sign-up bonus together. Let me see if I can get a referral link for this. So I do have the ability to refer. The referral program is I earn $50, you earn $200, where your requirements are, I don't know. Earn $200 MasterCard rewards. The referral person must register by the following link. Open Middlesex Savings Bank, Freedom Blue, Freedom Gold, or Freedom Platinum checking account and complete 8 or more debit purchases within 60 days. I believe I received my card for this. It's somewhere in a stack of piles somewhere, but I did get a debit MasterCard that has some rewards on it. So I'm just going to drain it into Amazon. But if you're interested, in order for me to refer, I need your first name, last name, email address, and I have to put it online to a specific site. So if you're interested, definitely reach out. Next, this is expired, but Sam's Club was offering a $12 membership. Actually, it was a $14 membership, and it was free after stacking with Portal Cashback, but it's gone now. I prefer Costco anyway. Next, Dr. Credit reported that Fidelity Cash Manager account is adding a sweep program where it'll be live on June 15th, but Fidelity Cash Manager account will offer an elective option to have your default sweep account be the high-yield SPAXX money market fund, which is earning 4.95% yield. Until now, their default sweep is to an FDIC account with an interest rate, which is roughly not highly competitive, which is 2.72%. I currently do this manually, but adding SPAXX as an option. I remember I talked about this a little while ago, and I couldn't find a way to have it automatically do this for me, so it looks like it wasn't a feature, but now it is. I will say that through churning, my number one thing that I've done, my favorite thing that I have learned from this is this Fidelity Cash Management account. I can't tell you how liberating it feels to be able to take a debit card and use it at any ATM anywhere and know I will have no fees. It doesn't matter what ATM I use. I don't have to go and look at Alliant and check and see what ATMs near me are in their network. It doesn't matter. All I have to do is just use a debit card, and I know it'll get automatically refunded. So I cannot recommend Fidelity Cash Management account enough, especially now that they're going to be offering 5%. It's not FDIC insured. It's SPIC insured, I think is what it's called, where it's just brokerages. But I only keep like $1,000 in there at a time, so it's not bad. Next, American Airlines announces that they're delaying their no mileages for third-party purchases as well as for travel booking agencies. And this will come up later, actually. But I'm glad to see they're pushing this off. It's kind of bogus change that they're making, so I'm glad there's a lot of pushbacks. Next, there was a ruling in the Department of Transportation announced that it is rolling out new rules that require airlines to automatically give cash refunds to passengers for cancellations and significantly delayed flights. I hate auto-playing videos on websites. Specifically from the Biden administration, the DOT will require airlines to give cash refunds if your bags are lost and not delivered within 12 hours. Tickets purchased directly with airlines, travel agents, and third-party sites such as Experian and Travelocity. Airlines can no longer decide how long a delay must be for a refund to be issued. Under the new DOT rules, the delayed cover will be more than 3 hours for domestic flights and more than 6 hours for international, the agency said. That's actually huge. I love these changes that are positive for consumers and taking money away from airlines. Even though if an airline goes under, it's just going to be bought out or saved by the government, which we pay for anyway, but hey, whatever. Next, we have another overflow from the not yet recorded travel episode, but I talked about this in the past. Cloaked is like an online privacy management company where you can create identities, which are essentially like a fresh phone number, a fresh email address to use for whatever purpose you want. While I was abroad in London specifically, a lot of the Wi-Fi there needed you to verify with either an email address or a phone number, and I didn't want to just give my email address and phone number to a bunch of these random shady Wi-Fis, so I was using Cloaked, and while I was there, my free trial expired, and I decided to sign up. I found a coupon code. Let me see if I can find it again. Yep, found the promo code. It's LEXPOD, all caps, LEXPOD. It'll make the fee for the year $30 instead of, I think, $60. And the convenience is really nice. The app's actually pretty well made. And they have a quasi-curve card cloaking thing, which isn't fully baked yet. I think it's only on website. And it's only by like beta. You have to ask the CEO to add you to it. But they do have a Discord, and it's pretty active. So I use that and I like it thus far, so I figured I'd call it out. Next, I had a conversation with Warhawk, and we were talking about Albert's boosts, and specifically, they let me know that if you have, I think I've noticed this, but I've never I've seen this, but never really made note of it, I should say. When you use your boosts in Albert and then you cancel your Genius subscription, if you then sign up for subscription again, your boosts, even though you use them, often they have a week cooldown, they'll automatically get reinstated. So if you can kind of try and gamify that, I think that's a lot of effort. I'm already kind of getting off the Albert train. Since I was traveling for 2 weeks, unfortunately, my Genius subscription coincided with me being abroad. So I had to spend time and message support and say, hey, I can't transfer funds out right now. Can you pause my subscription? And they said, yeah, we'll push off the fee for another month. But it's a $15 fee, so if you forget, it kind of hurts. And even if you use 3 boosts, that $15 fee, 3 boosts to their max, which are $5 max, you just pay back the fee. So it's not super worth it anymore. But I might still use it. Next, while I was abroad, I also had some issues with Bank of America AutoPay. So I recently signed up for the Bank of America Preferred Rewards card to get their sign-up bonus, and I reached it. And I thought I had signed up for AutoPay, and I logged into my Bank of America while I was on a boat in London to see that I was overdue by 3 days. I was like, oh, geez, what happened? So I called Bank of America. I'm like, hey, I set up AutoPay, but it looks like it didn't go through. I originally called the claims department because that's the number the email had, and they're like, oh, you need to talk to billing, bill pay. Transfer me over to bill pay. The agent was a bit short with me, but she was informative. She was nice enough. I was a bit frustrated because I was like, hey, I set up AutoPay and it charged me $100 worth of interest, $120 in fees total, interest and a late fee. And I was like, A, does this get reported to credit bureaus? B, why did this happen? C, can you refund the fees? And she was like, okay, don't worry, we don't report delinquent accounts for 30 days. So as long as I pay within 30 days, it's not a problem. B, she'll refund the fees, no problem. Well, I had to specifically ask for that. I was like, is there anything we can do? And she's like, are you talking about the fees? And I was like, yes. And she was like, I can waive the fees. I was like, okay, cool. And third, I was like, well, why didn't my AutoPay generate? And she said that I signed up for AutoPay on March 23rd, but my bill generated on March 22nd. And AutoPay with Bank of America is horrible. And it will only kick in when the bill is generated, because the way that it works is they send the e-bill from Bank of America's credit card department to the bill pay department. They send a bill to them, and AutoPay reads that bill and sets the payment. But they can't retroactively do it. It's only on when the bill is generated. So even though Bank of America knows how to, I have AutoPay turned on, it won't pay it. And I just thought it did because I went to my Bank of America and said AutoPay's on, and I was like, cool, it'll take care of it. It didn't. I just went in and I manually paid my balance, which was fine. They refunded my fee, no harm, no foul, but it's not something I wanted to have to read about or have to work on while I was abroad on vacation. Next, there was a great conversation on Reddit about why people churn. People chimed in on how long they've been doing it, for a couple months to a couple years. There was hundreds of comments, and if you have some downtime, I definitely suggest reading it. Next, there were some updates from Chase. So Miles Erneburn has a really good write-up on how Chase's modified double dip works. If you're interested, you can read that. I hadn't seen an easily laid out description of that, so I thought it'd be useful. Next, Chase's increased Sapphire offers in branch and publicly for referrals, and I think via just standard links as well. So this Chase Sapphire Preferred is now at, I think, 75K points. Yep, 75K, and the referrals get 10K. And for Chase Sapphire Reserve, the bonus is also 75K, and the referrals get 10K. Preferred is spending 4,000, and Reserve is also spending 4,000. I think there's a higher 85,000 point offer somewhere, but I don't have that written down. But if you're interested in either card, it's a decent time to open it up. They've done 100K in the past, but I'm not sure if that'll come back. There's also links to discussions from Miles Erneburn and Dr. Credit on these increased bonuses. And then finally for Chase, they announced that they're adding Pay Yourself Back to Disney cards. I mean, not super interesting, but it's eligible for, you can redeem points for 1 cent per point for purchases at Disney locations, Disney parks, and resorts, specific ones. as well as Disney Store and outlets in the U.S., shopdisney.com, disneyplus.com, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. Not super exciting, but I mean, if you have your subscription services on there, you can pay yourself back at 1 cent per point. I mean, 1 cent per point's kind of trash anyway, but I think the Disney cards might be less than 1 cent per point for cash, so maybe that's a decent way to get some cash off of there. Next, this is super niche. It's only for select areas, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, but Pentucket Bank had a sign-up bonus. It might still have a sign-up bonus for $250. I have my data point linked in the show notes, but they sent an email out about some account changes, and they recently had a merger with a couple of different banks. I think 2 banks joined together, and they changed their branding. They removed the little choo-choo train, which was very sad to me, but their new little like P thing is like modern and cool looking. But the fees didn't really seem like much is changing. I didn't really see anything that's to call out, but just wanted to call that out if you had the account. They did make some changes. Next, the most recent Daily Churn podcast episode, I think he also, there's a $5 subscription to get access to his like private Discord as well as some other benefits that he gets with that $5 access. I pay for it just so I can keep up to date. I won't be reiterating anything that he has behind a paywall, but I will be advertising, I guess, for him for free on some stuff that is discussed behind the paywall. There was a great write-up on the Pepper app, as well as Turning Life had the president of Aligned Incentives, which is like a gift card reselling company. Really great episode. Logan was fantastic. He reached out to me and asked if I'd like to have him on the episode. Let me know if y'all are interested. I'm just curious to see what additional things he'd like to talk about, because his episode on Turning Life was pretty exhaustive and discussed a lot. It was really insightful, but I just don't want to like copy exactly what Turning Life did. So if I see something that would be of use to this podcast or would just be an interesting topic to talk about with him, I might have him on, but we'll see what comes of that. But back to the Daily Churn highlights. The reason why I brought the Turning Life up is because Logan discussed how Pepper gift card discounts have made a huge impact on the gift card reselling industry. And I'm not sure how much longer the Pepper gift card app will be giving this great referral bonus of like, I think it's 10% off of all gift cards for like 15 days. But if you're interested, go for it. And then also there was a great write-up on Robinhood versus Webull IRA offer. Basically, if you live in a state with state income tax, there's a decent chance that Robinhood offers better than Webull, because when you do the Webull offer, the interest gets put into a taxable account while Robinhood goes into your IRA, which is not taxable. Next, user UberBrinet shared that Blue Dot will be removing rewards at the end of April. Blue Dot's super niche. It's a electric vehicle charging app, and they were also offering, I think, like 5% on certain merchants, but that's going away. Next, there is a sign-up bonus for Country Bank, a $200 checking bonus, which is specifically available in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Virginia. Look at me. I'm learning my state acronyms. It requires $500 or more of consecutive direct deposits for 3 months. I think I applied for this and I got denied. I don't see a comment posted by me in here, but I think something for some reason stopped me from applying for this. So I didn't go for it. But if you're in footprint, you might as well give it a shot. It seems pretty decent. Next, Laurel Road's $300 checking bonus is still available, or is available again, and is back up to $500, as well as the $20 per month direct deposit bonus. I can't open up Laurel Road because they have an issue with their underlying. They're like a subsidiary of, I think, KeyBank. And since I had a KeyBank account, I can't open up a Laurel Road account because their IT's botched. But if you're eligible, it's a pretty great bonus, as well as it's nice to get some incentive for a direct deposit. $20 per month is nice. Next, this is expired, but Costco is offering $500 Southwest cards for $420, which 80 divided by 500. That's 16% off. So in addition to cash back, you can get like 20% off of your Southwest purchases. That's great. I don't fly Southwest a lot. I live in the East Coast, so I actually have never flown them, but figured I'd call it out. Next, while I was abroad, I was contacted by a crypto scam. I got a call from what my phone brought up, has just said, wow, as the as the caller ID, and they called me, and I think it was automated, and it said that a crypto transaction I made on my account was being blocked, and press 1, or happened, and press 1 if I want to deny it. And I do make crypto transactions, but I wouldn't receive a call from WoW, and I wouldn't receive no email. I wouldn't just get a call about it. So that was a scam. Just keep your eyes peeled if you do see that. I should have put this in the Chase section, but Chase Freedom Flex is offering a new sign-up bonus of 10% back on groceries for the first year, up to 1.2K, I think, in cash back. So if you're spending groceries a lot and you don't have the Chase Freedom Flex, that's a great bonus. I do have some updates on my Key Point bonus. They were offering $50 per month for, I think, 6 months for direct depositing $500 per month. And I've been doing that. I received it in March, April, and May thus far. So that's paying out well. Next, an update on my Robinhood fee. So I talked about in episode 37 that I received a fee from Merrill Lynch for closing my account with them. It was a $50 fee. And I emailed Robinhood telling them, hey, I've received a fee. Can you reimburse it? Got an email back saying, yes, absolutely. I've processed that for you. Never heard anything. So I emailed them back and they said, oh, we do need proof. And I was like, oh, that was never told to me by the original representative, but here's my proof. And they were like, oh, sorry, we never told you that, but you're all set now. And I did receive my $50 credit. That $50 did get deposited into my IRA, which was, again, a nice little way of getting an added contribution to my IRA, which doesn't go towards my limit, I guess. And it doesn't show up under your transaction history. It'll show up in your statement at the end of the month. So that's a bit odd, but anyway, I guess also more Chase updates. Chase is offering a bonus on the British Airways card for 85,000 points after spending 5,000 in 3 months. And this is good for British Airways, Iberia, and Aer Lingus. Again, very similar to the cardless card that came out. It was previously at 100K, and the standard is 75K, so this isn't too great, and now also requires a $5,000 spend. So Dr. Credit calls it one of their best cards. I guess we're not sure if it'll go back to 100K in the future, because this increased offer is higher than we've seen in the past, or more frequent offers we've seen in the past. Next, I received an interesting email from Upgrade. I have a line of credit with Upgrade, which is a credit card, but it's a line of credit, which is odd. And they were offering, when I first opened this up, a bonus of $500 for opening the card, which is no longer available. But that's a reason why I have an Upgrade account in the first place. But they sent me an email to say that the issuing bank for your Upgrade card is changing from Sutton Bank to Cross River Bank. I believe Cross River Bank is the one that issues their debit accounts, so it makes sense they're combining just to one standard bank, and I'll be issued a new card. But I don't really use the card, so I was reading through the terms, and it specifically states, by activating your new card or requesting new balance transfers or account transfers to your bank account from your Upgrade card account after this notice, you will confirm that you understand and agree to these changes. If you do not want to accept these changes, do not activate your new card or use your credit line. I plan on not activating it, and I'll just let them close my account. I'm totally fine with that. I guess it's going to close an account on my behalf, but I don't really want the account anyway, so I'm not super concerned. Next, I said that I subscribed to Cents Per Points a little while ago, and the newsletter is actually pretty good. They give some decent write-ups, so I gave a link to one of their write-ups in the show notes, which here they specifically discuss the Chase Sapphire sign-up bonuses, some news and some deals, sort of similar to what I do here, but they cover some additional topics. And they send I think it's a weekly newsletter with some nice pictures, some graphics, some advanced stuff, and with American Express as well. So if you're interested, take a look at them. Next, I received an email from Wealthfront. I don't think Dr. Credit has covered this, but they're offering auto bond ladders. So you can make investments into government bonds and in ladder forms of I think it's 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 5 month, something like that. And then as the shorter ones expire, you buy further ones to have this ladder always grown. And it's a bit tedious to do that every month. So Wealthfront is offering an automated version of that. Caveats are they charge a 0.25% fee, and you're paying a fee for something that can be done manually, but the benefits of not having to manage it yourself might be worth it. If you do have a referral, I think you get 6 months of it for free. And the rates are about the same as what their checking account's currently offering. Checking account offers 5%, and the bond ladder, I think, earns between 5 and 5.5%, but you don't pay state income tax. So if you're in a state that earns if you're in a state that has state income tax, you could save additional value there. Man, this is long. I got a lot to go here, folks, so strap in. Citi announced that they're unveiling their Strata Premier card, which I think actually came out today. So the Citi Premier is being changed to Strata Premier. Essentially, is the same benefits with addition of 10x on, I think, their travel portal, but not for flights, for like everything else in the travel portal. There's Reddit discussion. There's 2 Reddit discussions and some doctor of credit coverings of this. And they're also auto-converting everyone from the Premier to Strata Premier. There was some discussion of ability to double dip on these two. So if you have never received the bonus before for the Premier, because the Strata Premier specifically cards out those that earned a sign-up bonus, I think in the past 4 years for the Citi Premier, which I think includes me because I've gotten that a while ago. But some people are contemplating opening up both cards at the same time and then getting both bonuses because they're different cards. I don't know if that's valid anymore because I think the Citi Premier card is no longer taking applications. Now that the Strata Premier is taking applications, but we'll see. Next, there's a lot of American Express updates. It's funny, I didn't really pay any mind to American Express updates prior because I didn't have it, but now I have the card, so or a card, and now I see so much American Express stuff. So, American Express, their Business Platinum is offering a 1-to-1 cash out available online. Previously, I don't think that was an option. But the past few months, the airline system wasn't allowing American Express Business Platinum cards to cash out at one separate point, and it would require calling in. Now you can do it online. That's useful. Next, the American Express Delta Sky Miles card is offering a sign-up bonus of 40,000 points plus $400 off of your current flight booking. Kung Fuhrer showed this to me, but Dr. Credit also reported on it. It seems pretty decent. Let me see if this is the exact one. Yes, it is. Dr. Credit says that standard increased bonus in this card is 75,000 miles. It used to be possible to apply for an offer with a statement credit and then match to the higher miles offer, but that hasn't been possible for a while now. So people will prefer the statement credit offer, whereas other people prefer the miles, and it's in their best credit card offers at the moment. Next, there is an American Express Platinum credit that now that I have the American Express Platinum, I don't really know how I'm going to use. It's $200 in incidental credits per year. And reading through some Dr. Credit comments, it looks like United Cash Bank, or whatever they call it, might trigger it. So just loading $200 into there will trigger the $200 incentive. Be really curious if someone out there has recent experience on this. It looks like the most recent data point is from, is this a link to a specific comment? From February of this year. It says, still works, got my credit today after a week from the purchase date. So I'm curious to see if anybody else has similar data points. Next, Cleed shared with Discord, as well as Dr. Credit shared that American Express Boeing 747 card is back, so specifically the Delta Sky Miles card. That card's gorgeous. I like the new one better than the old one. The old one was like matte black. This new one's just like stainless steel silver looking. It's super cool. I'm curious to see if I'm even pre-approved because I just really want this freaking card because it's so cool. American Express Boeing Delta Sky Miles Reserve card. I'm just going to go see if I can apply. Let's find out. So sometimes American Express has like a apply now without impacting your credit score kind of thing. They don't have that for this card, so I'm not going to try and apply, but man, do I want that freaking card. It is so nice looking. It's made out of, I think, 25% or 33%. Yeah, 33% metal from a retired Boeing 747, which is just sick, man. Like, I might apply. Let's move on before I apply. American Express is doing a bunch of American Express Platinum 40th year anniversary deals, including deals from Delta, Hilton, JetBlue, and Hertz. Specifically, $40 back when you spend $180 on Hilton, $50 back when you spend $200 on JetBlue, $40 when you spend $180 on Delta via the travel portal, and $40 when you spend $150 on Hertz. So pretty good offers if you already have some spend going on there. Miles Ernenburn commented or like hinted at maybe some way to game the system of like maybe buying a refundable ticket and then refunding it and just getting the credit. But that's not something I want to do. I don't want to risk my relationship with these airlines or credit cards. Next, saw a post on the Wall Street Journal that Disney and Warner are going to offer a bundle of Hulu, Max, and Disney Plus, which might be super interesting specifically for the American Express Platinum, which has a streaming credit of, I think, like $15 a month or $20 a month. So if you're able to bundle all those together for less than 20 and get it reimbursed, that's sick. I'll also share that my 175K points, membership rewards points for American Express Platinum did credit, I think, before my first month, which is absolutely insane that I was able to spend that much that quickly. Some of it was like, I think $3,500 was from paying my mom's tax bill, which I guess I ate like a $50 fee on, but I didn't totally have to do it because I'm clearly spending enough money, but oh well. Currently, I have over 250,000 membership rewards. Some will be going away because I did refer some people that want some of their referral bonus back, specifically some coworkers. I don't normally do that, but they, in my work chat, like a company-wide work chat, people ask for referrals. Like, hey, I'll pick a random referral and I'll split if you'll split the referral bonus with me. So I won a couple of those random choices, and I got some referrals from it, which is quite nice. Next, there are, again, another Chase update. There's some Chase bonuses going out. Specifically, there's one unique one for, I think, like 10x back on some spend for Chase Freedom Unlimited, or like $50 to $100 back when you spend a certain amount with them. So definitely take a look. Even if you don't have a Chase Freedom Unlimited, just check to see if you have anything available. I don't have anything on my cards, but it's worth a shot, worth a couple minutes. Dr. Credit also shared that with Chase, you can expedite your unlimited rewards. If they're pending, you can get them to post immediately if you product change to a different card. Even though they're pending, they will immediately be credited to your account upon your product change. So if you're trying to use your points quickly and you want a product change, not a bad way to get that done. Next, Dr. Credit shared that the Google Store is offering some great trade-ins for Pixel tablets. So they used to have like a Nest little stand where you can have a screen and a speaker built in, and it's all in one. But now they offer a tablet that attaches to a dock that basically functions as a Google Assistant. I will say, Google Assistant turned to doo-doo recently, so I don't totally recommend it for it. But if you have like an old iPad kicking around that you're not using, or an old Samsung tablet, might as well get a trade-in. They're giving like $300 or $400 for some of them, so kind of worth it. All right, next is a big bulk of an update, and we're getting towards the end here, but a lot of news from the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau. Specifically, 3 things happened that they made a comment on. Recently, last week, the CFPB took action against Chime for not refunding customers in a timely manner after closing their accounts. Just quoting from the CFPB's post, Chime's customers had to wait weeks or months for access to their own money and were forced to use alternative funds to cover their essential expenses. Fast-growing financial firms must treat their customers fairly and understand that federal law is not a suggestion. The CFPB order requires Chime to pay at least $1.3 million in redress to consumers it harmed, as well as pay $3.25 million penalty to the CFPB Victims Relief Fund. So that's huge. I didn't realize Chime was doing this. So honestly, CFPB seems to be one of the best government agencies that I've come across. I mean, they get banks to comply pretty quickly, and when a bank gets chewed out like this from the CFPB, I think it has some pretty big ramifications. Next, I have it out of order, but I'm gonna read this out of order. The CFPB report highlights consumer frustrations with credit card rewards programs. So reading some quotes here. Credit card companies comprise upfront benefits for signing up and using their reward cards, but often bury complex terms in the fine print using the rewards. For using the rewards, the CFPB will be looking for ways to protect people's points, stop bait and switch scams, and promote a fair and competitive marketplace for credit cards. Credit card issuers impose vague or hidden conditions that keep customers from receiving rewards, including companies devalue rewards, customers encounter redemption issues with earned benefits, companies revoke previously earned rewards, and the federal consumer protection law applied to rewards programs offered in connection with consumer financial products or services. CFPB has taken action against credit card issuers such as American Express and Bank of America for engaging in unfair, deceptive, or abusive acts or practices related to rewards programs. CFPB will continue to monitor credit card reward programs and will take necessary action on these issues as appropriate. That's huge. Specifically calling out company devaluing rewards is really beneficial. It does have a large impact on customers, so I'm glad CFPB is looking into this. And then to piggyback on that, one other thing from CFPB is that they held a public hearing on, I think, Thursday the 9th at 10 a.m., specifically targeted towards airline and credit card rewards programs. I watched the whole hearing. It was about 2 hours, and here are some highlights that I thought was useful to pull out of it. There was a board member by the name of Scott who represented Allegiant Airlines, and when they spoke, they basically just read an ad for their Bank of America co-branded credit card, which I thought wasn't the time or place to be doing that, Scott, but all right. Next, I forget who said this, but they stated that 30 to 80% of airline revenue comes from credit card revenue, comes in the form of credit card revenue for airlines. So a vast majority of their rewards or their profits, vast majority of airline revenues are actually from the credit card revenues, not from the actual airline itself, which makes sense. Later on, a representative said that operating cost exceeds passenger seat value at all airlines except Delta. Airlines make their money off of credit cards, not the actual flights. Specifically, this was from a flight attendant spokesperson. In addition, many times this is being referenced, but they said that airlines cannot afford the rewards they're awarding, which is why we get these devaluations and these blackout dates and these issues that customers are getting when they are using their rewards. The flight attendant spokesperson also said that some flight attendants make $10,000 to $15,000 annually for advertising and getting credit card sign-up bonuses. I think they specifically said if they hand out a flyer, it's like $5 to $10, and if they get an actual customer to sign up for a credit card, they get like $100 to $150 for that sign-up. So, I mean, if they're flying every day, there's hundreds of people on those flights. They're seeing thousands of people a week. There's a lot of ears that they're getting to. So, 10 to 15K annually is not a surprise to me for some flight attendants, and it's a good chunk of change. But a lot of these flight attendants are forced to make these announcements, like they don't have a choice, whether it's because they consider it part of their compensation package or because they're forced to by the airlines. In addition, they had Apple Credit Union CEO there. I think it was their CEO, and he said that specifically he was talking about their credit cards, and he said 88% of the rewards customers revolve, meaning that they carry a balance from month to month, which is insane. 88%. That's wild. So his point in saying that was banks should be trying to prioritize lower rates, not better credit card rewards, because customers are clearly, those that have rewards are carrying balances. So if you're earning 3x on purchases, if you're carrying a balance month to month, you're losing all of that to interest fees. And there was a lot of references to the American Airlines changes that I talked about earlier that they pushed off. Multiple comments from the public as well as members of the board mentioned it as a negative change and something that should be checked into by the CFPB. And then finally, there was a public comment that quoted that interchange fees on electric vehicle charging is in the 7 to 10% range, which is absolutely insane if that's true. I haven't heard that, but I mean, if it is, that's wild. All right, going to our final things here. Thank God, because my voice is getting hoarse. I recently booked a flight. I'm doing an impromptu trip home to Jersey Father's Day weekend, and I was like, ooh, I have my Bank of America Preferred Rewards Elite card. I can use the portal there. So I went to Google Flights, looked at the flights. Spirit was like flying for $60 round trip, which was awesome. And I went to the American Airlines portal, or the Bank of America portal to try and use some of my points, and they don't support Spirit, which was annoying. I get a 20% discount on flights there, so that would have been really useful. I was able to transfer points easily from my Preferred Rewards to my Preferred Rewards Elite because I just got a sign-up bonus on Preferred Rewards. You just put in the card number and transfer it over, and it's instant. I wound up going on Capital One Travel. The price was exactly the same on Google Flights as it was on Capital One Travel, and I also had a $50 credit on Capital One Travel for some flights that I booked to Europe that actually had a price drop, and you automatically get the price reimbursed as a credit on the portal, which was nice. So my $6 flight cost me like $10. Next, I commented this on already, but Yoda has these negative changes, which is concerning, especially considering the reference between Juno and Sutton is the same brokerage that's having an issue. Final updates here. California is passing legislation that requires restaurants to make all of their fees upfront on the menu prices. So no 3% kitchen fee, no 3% credit card fee, no other bogus fees. They all have to be upfront, which I absolutely love. Next, Chase and Bank of America have a offer available for some customers for 10% back at Hilton. So if you're interested in that, hop on that. And then finally, a lightning deal that happened was Amazon was offering some discounts on some gift cards. And I specifically went in and purchased a $100 Lyft gift card for, after all, was $80.75. So I saved about 20% on Lyft. All right, definitely not our longest episode, but quite a lot here. I really enjoyed the CFPB changes, and I enjoyed hearing updates from the airlines as well as people in the industry. I will note that during that call, they specifically referenced that the major top 4 airlines and banks did not want to have public comment, but they would have loved to hear from them. And they specifically just had a representative from Spirit, a representative from, there was a lot of them, so I'm not going to name them all, but a CEO of Apple Credit Union, which was odd that they were there for me. It's like a weird why them. An agent from the flight attendants like association guild or something, and then maybe like 4 or 5 other ones. And it's also Pete Buttigieg. I didn't know he was the head of like transportation or something, which was the former governor or former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, and I think he ran for president as well. But that's it for today. Keep your ears and eyes peeled for a travel episode coming up here soon. But thanks for listening as always. If you want to support me on Patreon, patreon.com/Journers Digest. And thanks as always. Have a good one.